Hello everyone, I'm Eric Breeden. I've just created a YouTube channel, and this is my official channel. I hope you'll support me. Welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day to dive into the latest drama unfolding in Genoa City. We always love unpacking the complex layers of our favorite characters with all of you, and there is so much to discuss right now. Let's jump straight into the messy, complicated, and utterly heartbreaking world of our beloved residents. Okay, so I've been thinking about this, and my brain is just going in a million different directions about Sally Spectra. Like, I literally cannot stop overthinking every single thing Courtney Hope said in that recent Soap Opera Digest interview. I'm typing this so late and my thoughts are a mess, but here's what's bugging me. Or not bugging me, but just keeping me up. The way they are handling the ghost of baby Ava. Actually, no. First, I should mention the current situation before I dive into the past. So Sally is pregnant again. Or, well, she just took the test and it's positive. I think it was the Friday episode, or maybe Thursday, somewhere around there. She's sitting there with Audra, holding this piece of plastic, and her entire world is just shattering all over again. And Billy is off somewhere. Wait, let me back up. Billy is actually thrilled. He's planning their whole future, talking about how great it's going to be, and he's just completely oblivious to the fact that Sally is internally screaming. But then again, that doesn't explain why she's so terrified. I mean, yes, a new pregnancy after a loss is scary, but it's more than that. It's Billy. It's the trauma. It's everything. What was I saying? Oh, right, the interview. So Courtney Hope was talking about how the grief of losing Ava is still dictating Sally's every move. She said something that really struck me. She said Sally feels like it was her fault. Her fault. I mean, rationally, we all know it wasn't. There were medical complications. It was a tragic situation. Adam had to make an impossible choice. Wait, actually, did Adam make the choice, or did the doctors? I can't even remember the exact medical jargon they used back then. Probably doesn't matter. But I noticed that Sally has internalized this massive, crushing guilt. She thinks she did something wrong, or didn't do something right, and that's why her baby died. It's weird. Like, really weird. The whole thing is just weird because you look at Sally on the surface, running her business, wearing these incredible outfits seriously. Her wardrobe is always flawless, and you think she's moving on. But she's not. She's just surviving. Hope mentioned that Sally's choices right now are basically just emotional survival instinct. And that makes so much sense when you look at how she's acting with Billy. Okay, wait. Let me back up to the Billy of it all. Billy Abbott, the man, the myth, the walking red flag. I know I just said he's thrilled about the baby, but hear me out. Is Billy actually a safe space for Sally? No, absolutely not. I mean, not exactly, but kind of. He tries to be. He wants to be the hero. He wants to be the guy who saves the day and makes the soup and plans the London trips. But Sally knows his history. She literally told him, I think it was a few weeks ago, that her dad was always chasing shiny new things and making terrible decisions, and she doesn't want that for her life. And who is Billy if not a man who constantly chases shiny things and makes terrible decisions? Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Billy has changed, but then again, that doesn't explain why Sally's hiding her true feelings from him. She gets this positive test, and her first instinct isn't to run into Billy's arms and cry and share her fears. Her first instinct is to text Audra Charles, "Wait, Audra." Let's talk about Audra for a second, because this is where my brain really starts going down a rabbit hole. Audra Charles is a corporate shark. She's ruthless. She sleeps with people to get ahead. She manipulates. Basically, She's not the person you'd expect to be the ultimate emotional support system. But here she is, buying pregnancy tests and sitting in the bathroom with Sally. Why? Actually, it makes perfect sense because Audra gets it. Audra had a miscarriage years ago with Noah Newman. She told Sally about it. She said she thought the test was going to be negative, but it was positive, and she lost the baby, and she never even told Noah. That shared trauma. It's like an invisible string tying them together. Courtney Hope said in the interview that Audra is the person who has the strongest connection with Sally right now, not Billy, not Adam. Audra. It's just mind-blowing. The writers actually remembered Audra's backstory with Noah and used it to build this incredibly raw, honest friendship. They don't always agree, but they have this emotional understanding. Audra doesn't judge Sally. Audra just sits there and says, I really miss Ava too, when Sally admits it. Wait, no. Audra didn't know Ava. Sally said she misses Ava, and Audra asked what it would be like to be a mother. My brain is moving faster than my typing. Anyway, the point is, wait, what was the point? Oh, right. The point is that Sally feels safer with Audra than she does with the father of her current baby. That is so telling. That is a giant, flashing neon sign that this relationship with Billy is doomed. And it gets worse, because I've been looking at the timeline of what's coming up, and I am just sick to my stomach about it. So Sally is pregnant. She's terrified. She's holding on to this secret fear. And what happens? Jill Abbott and Billy start doubting her. They start questioning the paternity. Jill is always horrible. We know that. But Billy doubting her after everything she's been through? Okay, I need to take a breath because this makes me so mad. Sally is already carrying the guilt of losing Ava. She already thinks she's broken. And then the man who claims to love her, the man who was just planning their future, turns around and questions if the baby is even his. It's a betrayal on the deepest possible level. Courtney Hope talked about how Sally's grief affects her ability to trust and be vulnerable. How is she ever supposed to be vulnerable with Billy after that? And then the crash. The timeline says Sally gets so upset after Audra tries to comfort her because Sally feels so insulted by Billy and Jill that she drives off in the pouring rain. Her vision is bad. She hits a guardrail, the car flips, she crawls out before it catches fire, and she loses the baby. She miscarries again. I literally can't even process this. It's too cruel. Why would they do this to her again? It's weird. Like, really weird. The whole thing is just weird. Are they just torturing Sally for the sake of drama? But then I think about what Courtney Hope said in the interview. She talked about letting the grief simmer beneath the surface. She doesn't want Sally's trauma to just be wrapped up neatly for the sake of a convenient plot. She wants it to be messy, and losing a second baby, that's going to completely destroy whatever fragile foundation Sally has managed to rebuild. Wait, let me backtrack. Let's look at the psychology here. If Sally already believes Ava's death was her fault, what is this second loss going to do to her? It's going to confirm her worst fear, that she is fundamentally incapable of being a mother, that she is cursed, that her body is a hostile environment. I mean, I'm just playing armchair psychologist here, but you can see the trajectory, right? She's going to completely shut down. And where does Adam fit into all of this? I know I shouldn't bring Adam into this because he's currently in Las Vegas dealing with Matt Clark and a heavily drugged Nick, which is a whole other insane rabbit hole now. But Adam is the father of Ava. Adam is the one who shares that specific agonizing grief with Sally. Actually, no. First, I should mention the Baltimore thing. Remember when Adam cheated on Sally with Chelsea in Baltimore. That was the catalyst for all of this current mess. If Adam hadn't done that, Sally wouldn't have run to Billy. She wouldn't be in this situation. The betrayal in Baltimore broke Sally's trust in Adam, but now Billy is breaking her trust in a completely different, arguably more cruel way by questioning her pregnancy. So she has Adam, who loves her but makes destructive, impulsive choices. Hello, kissing Riza in Vegas. And she has Billy, who claims to be stable but is actually a chaotic mess, who lets his mother dictate his life and doubts Sally's integrity. No wonder she's leaning on Audra. Audra is the only one who isn't demanding anything from her. What was I saying? Oh, the interview. Right. Hope said that Sally's grief isn't something that just goes away. It changes how she reacts to love. You can see it in every scene she has with Billy right now. When Billy is talking about London and taking care of her, Sally's eyes are just dead. Not dead, but distant. She's calculating. She's waiting for the other shoe to drop, and sadly, we know the shoe is going to drop, and it's going to drop hard. I just keep thinking about that scene in the bathroom with the pregnancy test, the way Audra handed it to her, the way Sally looked at it. It wasn't joy. It was pure, unadulterated terror, because she knows, on some level, her survival instinct is screaming at her that this isn't going to end well. I mean, compare this to other shows. Usually, when a soap character gets pregnant after a loss, it's a redemption story. It's the rainbow baby trope. They go through a little scare, but ultimately they have a healthy baby and everyone is happy. But Y&R is going dark with this, like really dark. A fiery car crash in the rain, a second miscarriage. It's almost Shakespearean in its tragedy. And I have to wonder, is Billy going to regret this? The timeline says, will Billy regret doing this? Yes, of course he will. He's going to be destroyed by guilt. But will Sally care? I don't think so. I think this is the end of Billy and Sally. You can't come back from that. You can't doubt a grieving mother's paternity, cause her to flee in a panic, and then expect her to forgive you when she loses the baby. Okay, I know I just said the opposite earlier about Billy wanting to be the hero, but hear me out. Billy's hero complex is exactly why he fails. He wants to save Sally, but he doesn't want to listen to her. When she says she's tired, he pushes. When she says she wants him to go to London, he refuses. He thinks he knows what's best for her, but he doesn't. He doesn't understand the depth of her trauma because he hasn't bothered to sit in the dark with her. Audra sat in the dark with her, literally and figuratively. It's just brilliant acting from Courtney Hope. The way she plays, the subtext, you can see the ghost of Ava in every scene. When Sally touches her stomach, when she looks away from Billy, when she snaps at Jill, it's all Ava. It's all the unresolved guilt. Wait, let me look at my notes again. Hope emphasizes the importance of letting Sally's grief simmer beneath the surface. Simmer, that's the perfect word. It's not a boiling pot right now. It's a low simmer. But the heat is being turned up. Jill's doubts, Billy's questions, that's the heat. And the car crash is going to be the explosion. I don't know how Sally comes back from this. I really don't. She's already a character who has had to reinvent herself so many times. She came from L.A., she lost a fashion house, she lost a baby, she lost Adam. How much can one person take? Probably doesn't matter. But I noticed that whenever Sally is truly broken, she isolates herself. She did it after Ava died, until Adam forced his way in. But now With Audra, maybe she won't isolate. Maybe Audra will be the one pulling her out of the wreckage, both literally and metaphorically. Actually, think about the poetic irony of that. Audra Charles, the woman who everyone thought was just a cold-hearted climber, becoming the savior of Sally's spectra. It's character development at its finest. Or maybe I'm giving the writers too much credit. I don't know. I constantly second guess myself with this show. Sometimes they do something brilliant, and the next week they have someone wearing a ridiculous disguise. Anyway, the point is, Sally's emotional journey is the most compelling thing on the show right now. The Vegas stuff with Nick and Adam and Matt Clark is action-packed, sure. The Victor and Diane stuff is classic soap scheming, but Sally's story, that's human, that's raw. That's the stuff that actually makes you feel something. I just keep picturing Sally sitting in that car, the rain pouring down, the tears mixing with the rain, the sudden crash, the physical pain mirroring the emotional pain. It's devastating, and Courtney Hope is going to act the absolute hell out of those hospital scenes. Give her the Emmy now. Seriously. Okay, I'm rambling. I'm literally just typing in circles now, but I can't help it. The psychology of trauma on this show is fascinating when they actually take the time to explore it. And with Sally, they are taking the time. They aren't rushing her healing. They are showing that healing isn't linear. Sometimes you take 2 steps forward, like starting a new business, dating a new guy, and then you take 10 steps back, right off a cliff, or into a guardrail, in this case. Wait, what if? No, that's a stupid theory. I was going to say, what if the baby survives the crash, but the spoilers clearly say she miscarries. So there's no false hope here. It's just tragedy. I just hope that when the dust settles, Sally realizes that none of this was her fault. Ava wasn't her fault. This new accident wasn't her fault. It's just life being incredibly, horribly unfair. And I hope she dumps Billy Abbott so fast his head spins, because she deserves someone who doesn't question her, someone who just holds her. Maybe that's Adam, but then again, Adam is a mess right now too. Maybe Sally just needs to be alone. Just Sally and Audra, drinking wine and running the corporate world. I'd watch that show. Actually, wait, before I completely log off my brain for the night, I need to talk about Sally's history in Los Angeles, because you can't really understand Sally Spectra without understanding where she came from. Back on The Bold and the Beautiful, she was always the underdog. She was always fighting for scraps, trying to live up to the Spectra name, constantly being beaten down by the Forrester family. She had to fight tooth and nail just to be seen. And that survival instinct, it was forged in fire over there. So when she came to Genoa City, she brought that armor with her. But Adam Newman, he kind of stripped that armor away. He saw her. He really saw her. And they created this life, this baby, Ava. And when Ava died, it wasn't just the loss of a child. It was the loss of the one pure, untainted thing Sally had ever created. It was the destruction of her hope. So now, fast forward to this situation with Billy. Billy is an Abbott. He comes from legacy, money, privilege. He doesn't understand the hustle. He doesn't understand what it means to have nothing and to lose the only thing you ever truly valued. So when he's sitting there casually doubting if the baby is his, influenced by his equally privileged and judgmental mother, Jill, it's not just an insult to Sally's fidelity. It's an insult to her entire existence. It's the Forrester family all over again. It's the wealthy elites looking down on the scrappy Spectra girl and assuming the worst of her. And that's why she runs. That's why she gets in that car in the pouring rain. It's a flight response triggered by years and years of trauma and rejection. She's not just running from Billy's accusation. She's running from the feeling of never being good enough, never being trusted, never being safe. I mean, kind of. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm connecting dots that maybe the writers didn't even intend, but it fits so perfectly. Courtney Hope plays her with this underlying grit, but also this profound fragility, like glass that's already been shattered and glued back together, and Billy is just casually tapping on it with a hammer. And let's talk about Billy's psychology for a second, because I am just so frustrated with him. Billy Abbott has lost a child. He lost Dahlia. He knows the unimaginable, suffocating agony of losing a piece of your soul. So you would logically think, that he would be the most empathetic, careful, gentle partner to a woman who has also lost a child. You would think he would recognize the signs of Sally's terror, but he doesn't, because Billy's grief over Delia, while profound, has always been externalized. He acts out. He gambles. He seeks revenge. Sally's grief over Ava is internalized. She blames herself. She shrinks inward. Billy can't read her because she's not screaming and breaking things the way he does. Or maybe he's just selfish. Honestly, it might just be that simple. Billy likes the idea of a family with Sally. He likes the picture it paints. But he doesn't want to do the actual emotional labor of understanding her trauma. When Audra brings that pregnancy test, she does more emotional labor in 5 minutes in a bathroom than Billy has done in their entire relationship. It's just so tragic. The impending car crash is going to be the physical manifestation of their emotional train wreck. The car flipping, the metal crushing, the fire, it's all just a metaphor for what Billy and Jill's cruelty is doing to Sally's spirit. I think about the aftermath, the hospital bed, the sterile white walls, the doctor coming in with that look on their face, the same look they had when Ava was lost, the absolute crushing silence that follows. How is Sally going to survive that silence again? I know it's just a show, but I am genuinely anxious about it. I stay up too late thinking about these fictional people because the emotions they represent are so real. The guilt of a mother, the betrayal of a partner, the unexpected grace of a friend like Audra. It's also messy and beautiful and terrible. Okay, now I'm definitely done. My fingers are cramping, but seriously, keep an eye on Courtney Hope's performance. She is doing masterclass work with this grief storyline. It's not pretty. It's not tied up with a bow, but it is real. And in the soap world, real is the best thing you can possibly ask for.